Up,
Good
here we go.
morning.
Good morning,
Good
Chirag.
morning.
Morning.
I hope nobody's sick with
Morning.
bronchitis. There we go. There's some nice Monday morning energy. So listen, I hope everyone had a great weekend. And look, Thanksgiving's gonna be here before we know it. So it's time to roll up our sleeves and get into action. So the analogy that I've been using lately is if you look at the markets, and I would call it the COVID pandemic market, if you wanted to grow or do anything, it's like imagine being on a highway and all the cars are going 90 miles an hour, right? And you're like, well, how do I get in? How can I fit in? It's already started now. People are just stopping because people don't know what to do, right? Like when things become uncomfortable and uncertain, a lot of us pause and go back to certainty, right? So if something becomes confusing, it becomes chaotic, and then you go back to certainty. Right. So the stop is here, but this is a time to speed up. Right. So anyone that's wanted to take advantage of an opportunity, this is it. Right. Next year will be the most opportunistic year that you'll see in the next 5 years. That is truly my fundamental belief, and all signs point to it. Because once you accept that you can't control any of this stuff in the economy, and the only thing that you can control is like what you do every day down to what's in your schedule, you win. It's pretty simple, right? There's no complicated math solution for next year and all these things of master the basics and this and that. Listen, strategy, live that word, breathe that word, understand that word. Like we've gone through thinking through business very differently, correct? We've gone through putting a value on areas that no one else really is thinking about. And this is how you win. So look, for the next several weeks, you should all be prepared to come here. If you're driving, go back and listen to this after, pull over, and I'm going to have you guys start to build out a plan and do work. Right? This is not going to be me sharing all the time. I will share, I'll prompt you, but I want you guys to start doing this without a sheet to put it all in. Right? I'm not giving you a shortcut. I want to teach you how to actually do this so that you own the skill, right? Assume something really bad happened. I was not here the next day. If I just did this for you every single time, like at this point, then if I disappear, there'd be a problem. But if I teach you how to think this way, now I can give you how strategy works. I can give you a different thought process. I can show you effectively how to become better at getting more out of who you are and what you do. We will give you the sheets, and next year, our entire year will be based on doing the work for you, like email templates and everything else like that, right? Like that commitment's still there. But it's very important that you understand how to process this information, right? So I'm going to share my screen here. All right, everyone can see my screen? Thumbs up. All right, cool. Look, doing what you've always done will get you more of the same. Literally. Hit yes if you've done the same type of real estate business plan every single year for 3 or more years. Let's see what we have in chat. Which also tells me that most people don't have a business plan. These numbers are slowly coming in. No, but I fly with, okay. So look, the first thing I want you guys all to identify is, look, if you're ready to make a massive shift in your life, you'll need to think differently and take massive actions without overthinking. Look, we're going to give you the entire blueprint. The question is, are you going to question it? Are you going to overanalyze it? Or are you just going to do it? Next year, when we say you should reach out to your clients and talk about this, we're going to give you an email template to do it. All you got to do is hit the send button and change it. It's pretty simple. We're trying to simplify this whole process. The first thing I want you guys all to do, and I'm going to give everyone 5 minutes to do so, is write down what has not worked for you in the past in the business planning, right? Like what has not worked, right? And I encourage some of you to start sharing your answers in the chat box, right? And I do business plans, I never follow through, right? It's that's simple. That's what doesn't work, right? So if I'm thinking through this for the first time, I have to identify if I've done a business plan before, what didn't work, right? So questions would be, how do I follow through? You know what? Let's make this fun today. I'm going to put this link in the chat right now, actually, guys. And why don't you all hop in this doc and start putting your challenges in here. We can track all of them. Right. So click the doc. Stop. No one stop writing in the chat, guys. Pause. Click the doc. I'm going to put the link. Everyone get in here and start typing in their answers. And then we're going to organize this and give it back to you. But this is 5 minutes to do this. This is a good LFR exercise, right? Like how do you do it? So how can I follow through as the year goes on and I get busy? All right, now you all can write in here, correct? Oh no, editor, oops. Can you guys all, perfect. Can you all write in here? There we go. So start putting your challenges in here. Oh, you cannot write. All right, so try this updated link. Aha, someone can write in there. This is fascinating to watch in real time. So here's what we're doing is you guys all type these in here. This is incredible. So here's what you're essentially doing. You're identifying what your blockers are, right? Because understanding what did not work will allow us, when we get to the scheduling part, to be able to build into your schedule over the course of a year how to make sure your plan actually works for you. So look, a lot of these, Melanie, I fall into old habits. I'm also a piece about where I am in my business, and then get to a place where I start to panic. So for Melanie, she just gets comfortable, right? Look, a lot of these are around time blocking. Time blocking is really a very simple skill. We'll spend like a whole session talking about time blocking. Time blocking, in essence, is the ability to say no. That's all that a time block is. Yes, Iris, it is a bit crowded. There's 86 people in there. So look, whether you're writing in the doc, you're writing for yourself, what has not worked for you? Not time blocking, not following through, getting comfortable, getting busy, right? How about this one, if no one's written to it? Not planning for the right things. you see how much this is in time blocking, procrastination, sticking with a plan, busy with clients? I think through broad and lose consistency. Keeping buyers engaged who are not in the winter out of sight. Though this is not a business planning thing. Items on the plan, not schedule, no routine, no system in place. Get busy in prime selling season, stop executing prospecting, deviating from my plan because I don't see immediate results. So look, every single one of these things getting stuck in the weeds and blowing it off. Until we can manage time, we can't manage anything else. Putting out fires. Simplify my life and commitments to other things and get rid of distractions. Marianne, that's great. Keeping on my discipline and schedule, time blocking, and avoiding the constant interruptions. All right, so let me put this down for a second and talk to you all. Can we all, without even thinking, notice that we're all almost in the same boat here, all 150 of us? You guys all literally have the same challenges. And that's the problem with real estate business plans. They don't work. What good is a plan if you can't follow it? It's like, I tell my children this, they do something and then they get consequences. And I say to my son, what's the point of rules if there are no consequences? What's the plan? What's the point of a plan if you don't follow it, right? So here's the thing. We need to move the needle in what matters. So what's the next part of it? The customer experience scorecard. Who wants to spend all this time doing all this stuff when really your service isn't even right with people? So the next area that I want you guys to look at is your customer experience. So where do we start with this? Number one, know what you spend more time on, buyers or sellers. Pick one and do one to completion before you do the other. So let's see in the chat, you're going to do buyers, you're going to do sellers, right? And I would encourage, this is where I encourage you guys to reach out and do this with other people. It is much more effective. Okay, so Melanie Clark, buyers are my focus, but I need to up my seller game. This is really important. This is why we have you putting all this in the chat, so all of you can learn from each other. Look, if something's your focus and you've done your data sheet and that's where all your business comes from, this is what you need to dial in now, right? This is not the time to get cute and say, I really want to do this and this. Look at where your income is coming from and perfect that so you can get more of it. And then strategically add one new lead source a quarter if you're working towards it as a big project. None of you should be working on more than one project a quarter, period, end of story. And if you can get it done faster, that's fine. But the problem is in planning and all these things, you have this idea and this marketing campaign. And, look, as we've launched this new mastermind, I've been doing all these interviews of high performing teams, right? And I go through their goals. And one of the biggest challenges that these people have, even that are doing $100+ million in production, is they have too many different ideas and too many different things, right? You need a very clear destination and you need to get there and then go to the next one. So what does success look like in that, right? I'm looking at my customer experience scorecard for buyers. I'm going to go through, measure what matters. I'm going to make all my 1.6s so they're at least operational, right? I'm going to look at to automate it, to perfect the process, and then I'm going to move on to something else. But don't start 5 different projects, because guess what? If you do an LFR and you look at everyone's information on the sheet, we're all challenged with time blocking, which means we're bad project managers. We're great salespeople. Salespeople are not project planners and project managers. They're 2 very different things, right? It was very hard when I worked at Corporate Compass to take my sales brain and turn it into a project planning brain. When we had to learn to do like adoption, to get you guys to start using technology, we would have to do this sometimes for 5,000 or 10,000 people, right? So learning how to do this is a skill. Yeah, Amy said it best. That's where you go sideways, take on too many projects, right? And by the way, when you feel overwhelmed, what do? You just go back to what you're used to doing. You don't do anything. So that's the second part in doing this. The third part in doing this, right? Skills, skills, skills. I'm never going to stop saying this. I don't care how many Instagram followers you have. I don't care how many TikTok followers you have. I don't care how great your email is. The bottom line is to help people buy and sell real estate, you will have to talk to people. It is no secret. You have to communicate with people. So what skills do you need to master to make the biggest impact on your bottom line? I'll give you an example. Who here gets some form of an online lead? Whether it's a listing lead, a buyer lead, or anything like that. Some of us, right? Who here goes on referrals that people send you? This should account for the rest of you, right? Now, guess what? Real estate is not like it was before. People think I get a referral, I'm guaranteed to get the business. You don't, because you're competing against the internet and people's uncertainty now. So in the market that we're in, somebody could refer Dina and they could say, great, Dina's a good referral. I'm going to use her. Like, I know the market's really good. People now, when we're hearing from our clients, they really want to know what people's plans are, communication plans. And the way that you talk and listen to somebody is a skill. The way you share the market's a skill. The way you share someone how they're going to offer properties is a skill. The way that you go through their motivations, expectations, disappointments, and concern, that's a skill. The way you deal with commission objections is a skill. The way you deal with sharing, marketing, and enrolling in the process, these are all skills. No one practices them. That's part of the reason the business plans don't work, because they have a heavy emphasis on this marketing campaign and that campaign and this thing. It's too much stuff. It's too complicated. You'll never do it. You'll see a video that we'll release in the next couple of days. I had our videographer here and I said, hit the play button or hit the record button. And I went on this 3.5 minute, I guess you call it a rant or whatever, on what keeps me up at night. All of you, this is what I'm worried most about. This is a broken system in real estate. It does not work. If you've been in a sales business and you've been doing this for if you've been doing this for 1 or more years and you still get stumped by the same test question, imagine, most of us are parents here. Imagine your kids came and got the same answers to the test wrong every single year. What would you say to them? You need to practice. But no one tells you that practicing your skills is one of the most important things that you can humanly do. So now when you go through your customer experience scorecard, you're going to say, wow, like these are the areas I need to improve. What are the skills I need to improve? And then take one skill a quarter and master it. Because you know what comes with skill mastery? Confidence. When you show up, you will show up as a different person. And that confidence in you creates certainty in other people. That's what they're looking for. That's why so much market share is open. They're not just going to go with the top agent anymore, right? We saw this during COVID. They're interviewing other people because they want to see who makes them feel most comfortable. And that comes down to communication and written plans. We can give you the written marketing plan and we can do the communication plan for you. That part we can do. We're your partner, we'll do that left. Can you do the part of the conversation? Do you know how to ask the right questions? Do you know how to anchor them and engage them in their answers? Do you know how to have them do most of the talking? Do you know how not to tell, explain, and not be combative? You know, the 7 keys to an effective conversation. Can you even do all those? Or do you just go and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk? You know, we worked out of this office while ours was being built. Ours is, by the way, like 3 or 4 weeks away. It's like pretty exciting. The floors got done, but you know, one of the guys in there, we do consulting work for them, and I'm going to be working with their whole sales team. And we came up with this idea of, who's heard of a chess clock, right? You know, those clocks you can play chess, it says how much time the other person has. I challenge all of you to get one of those. And when you're talking to someone on the phone for the first time, hit the clock. See how much you talk versus how much you listen. It'll be eye-opening. The fourth part of this, and then we're going to start doing the work tomorrow, is financial mastery. How many people actually know? I don't know, Lucy, I'm just typing chess clock. One day, maybe I'll have a branded one. We're working. I really want swag for all of our cool sayings and slogans and stuff for next year. But financial mastery. Hit yes if you know all your KPIs of money. Anybody? Remember that cool sheet and dashboard we made you? And no. Well, Diana, you're honest. Key performance indicators. Remember we talked about the daily, weekly, monthly, and annual costs to run your business and run your life? I don't know who the hell is telling you guys to make business plans. You don't even know how much it costs to run your business. Number 5, number 4, everyone must have this done before the end of the year. You cannot afford to walk into next year blind. You cannot do it. This is how people become big losers. You ever met those real estate agents that all of a sudden they're in debt, they have tax debt, they have credit card debt? This is the formula, not knowing. This is not one of those times to be cute and saying, oh, ignorance is bliss. That number should sit on your desk every day. You want to know why? You need to have some form of a gut check to your actions every day. If you realize that it costs you, let's see, if you're third, let's say 20,000. If you realize it costs you $4,000 a week to run your business, do you think you'd be screwing around during the day, not making calls or sending emails or voice notes? No, you wouldn't. Because like, oh my God, if I don't do anything this day, it costs me this much money in my business and life. That number scares people to be into action. Look, what I want to do for everyone here is build you a foundation to your business. When we get to the money, we'll do the money. 100%. Do you guys understand that? I'd say this because I care. The only thing I care about is that you implement what you learn and that you're happy. Like, people all can be happy next year. You guys all can thrive. Like, why is everyone's dreams getting killed over an interest rate? Seriously. If you go back a year and a half ago, you could be locked in your house. There's not a car on the road. You know, you have to wear a mask and gloves because you're paranoid because you don't want to get COVID and die. Like, that's something to be afraid of, not an interest rate. And an economy is an economy. 80% of people that move because they have to. If you look at the late 90s into the early 2000s, there's a 10-year stretch that interest rates were 10% or more. People still bought houses. Look, it takes people a little bit of time to reset to this and get over it. And then they realize, okay, I still want to move. Because the last time I checked, rent is still 100% interest. But these sayings of like, marry the house, date the rate, and all this other stuff, please don't say stuff like that to people. Imagine going into a high-end luxury store and them telling you stuff like that. It's nonsense, in my opinion. No one wants to hear that because that's a sales tactic. I'm unsure of buying a house right now because the rates are really high. Great, I completely understand that the interest rates have probably changed your options. Tell me more about your current situation versus buying at the new market rate, right? And then you're going to go through and have that conversation with them. And then you're going to say, that's great, Iris, but if the rates go up, what is your plan B? Do you want to rent a year, 2 years, 3 years from now? Right? And then you start going through and having an actual conversation with these people. Does this all start to make sense to you guys? I see a lot of people like deer in headlights. Number 5 is goal setting, right? We'll simplify what your targets are. And number 6 is scheduling. Listen, the most important thing for all of us to understand is, how do we take our business plans and put them into our schedules every day? Nobody ever does that part with you, do they? Hey guys, make a plan, right? You hit me where it hurts with the date. Yeah, don't say stuff like that, please. If you say stuff like that and say, yeah, I work with Chirag and Chirag Shah Coaching, you're going to make us all look bad, because we do not teach people that kind of stuff. We teach a client-centric approach that's data-driven, that's based on what the person wants. I'm not into these taglines and slogans and stuff like that. You guys are all dealing with higher end sophisticated buyers, right? We're not in a market where their entry-level homes at $150,000, right? Where the median income is 50, 60 grand. No, you guys all live in markets that they're very successful, affluent people, right? Compass is a luxury brand. You guys are all luxury. And luxury makes somebody feel good. Luxury is convenience. Luxury is anticipating somebody's needs. Luxury makes you feel heard, right? You go to a great luxury store, they do everything for you. So I look at ourselves as a luxury coaching company. So I'm going to do the same things for you next year. You should see the stuff we're working on. I can't tell you, because I promised my team I wouldn't do that, because people then email them and ask for it. So I was like, I gave them like the Scouts on our pinky promise. Like, Shrek, can you please not tell? I'm like, okay, fine. But I'll tell you guys, it's coming. Like that video we made, there's a lot more of that to come. So look, I need you to look at these 6 areas and get really serious. Right? And we need a session about talking about interest rates. We'll have a market shift webinar coming up this month to talk about interest rates. Talking about interest rates is nothing but a math equation. I'm going to put the 6 areas into the chat right now. Actually, hold on. Here you go. I'm going to put this in here to view only, but at least we'll let you get started. So no one type anything in the chat. The link for the 6 areas is in there. And look, guys, be optimistic, be brave, be your own hero. Everything you've ever wanted is right in front of you right now. The question is can you wake up and follow a simple schedule to get it? I will fill in all the gaps for you. We'll do it together. You'll never be alone during this process. That is my commitment. If something changes in the market, we're going to make the changes within a week or 2 with you. If we're going, like, our goal next year is to operate like Jack Bauer on 24. Maybe that's why I'm sitting here rewatching the whole series, to try to operate in real time. One of the greatest characters in TV of all time, Jack Bauer. But look, in all seriousness, agents do need a coach. And I need a community, right? Look, on a very sincere note, as I leave this on, it's like a real month of gratitude. I just want to say thank you to all of you. Literally, Chirag Shah Coaching is you. It's not me. It has nothing to do with me. The community is the heartbeat of who we are, what we do, our growth, and everything else. Your success is our success, and that's the only thing we care about, right? So every one of you for months now has shown up every single day, and I just want to let you know, this is what gets me out of bed. This is what inspires me. It's all of you. It's the work that you put in. So thank you so much for who you are. The people on the West Coast inspire us on the East Coast. The only people here at 6:30 in the morning, right? Like, thank you. I just want to take a moment and say that. Like, thank you for your trust. Thank you for believing in us. And ultimately, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of your life. I just want to take a moment and just acknowledge all of you. And look, let's keep going on this journey together. This is just the beginning. And the customer experience scorecards are in the recap email from last week. The one big thing is, look, together we can always be more. Like, I really believe that. So lean on the community, keep believing, and we're just getting started. So thank you all. With love in my heart, I love you all, and I will talk to you soon.